Hello, I am Donnie, and I am the cute one.
And I'm Chelsea, and I'm the cute one.
TGIF, cuties.
TGIF.
TGILF. TGIF.
TGILF. I guess we're going to continue with that one. So, great.
People liked it. Me.
TGIF.
TGIF. So that's it.
Thanks for
In
tuning
terms
in. Bye. Now, I will say we are having a little bit of technical difficulties behind the scenes. Donnie's internet has been a little bit wonky, so we're new at this. We're going to try our best. And if we've got issues, then we'll just give you the old razzle dazzle. You know we have issues already, but now just technology ones too.
Yeah, so God bless us all. Because you already sound like a robot to me. And that was our first sign yesterday.
Well,
And then I got kicked out for a good 15 minutes.
great. So maybe it'll just be me and the YouTube cuties. So get comfortable in the chat, everybody. Type away because God knows it might just be me and you today, listeners.
Okay, so let me start with how my week went then. So then if I
Okay.
do get kicked out, then that's out of the way and you can give how yours went.
Perfect.
Uh-oh. Okay, great. So Kendrick visited this weekend. It was his birthday weekend, but then we were celebrating Noor's birthday as well. So from the Reality Is pod. So first, we Kendrick saw Mary again, wonderful time. Then we did what? Then Noor's birthday was the next day, and we went to her birthday dinner. But first, Kendrick and I did an escape room. And Chelsea, you may recall the last time Kendrick and I did an escape room. We
I
were locked
do.
with people in a cell, and it didn't go well. It went a little something like this. I see a toothbrush, and I said,
Donnie.
"Give me the toothbrush." How do you think I felt, Chelsea?
Probably
How do you
just
think
as
I felt?
scared as right now I feel listening to that accent work at 11 o'clock in the morning on YouTube Live. But go on.
So anyway, they didn't give me the fucking toothbrush, but this week, uh, uh,
Here we go, cuties.
uh, uh,
Please comment in the chat. Does Donnie sound like a
for an
robot
escape
that's
room,
just
but
saying,
what?
I am Arby, the robot. I am a muscle man. I can move to the beat like no one can. Na 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 na.
What is that?
You didn't know about Arby, the robot?
No,
Okay, well, luckily, Arby, the robot summoned you back, our very own seance, that now I can hear you again.
because it knew I needed to talk on you.
No, you used to do it at like summer camp. If were in the dorms, a hot University of Maryland day there for the Maryland soccer camp in the middle of July, blazing heat in your dorm room, you would put your face right up to the fan and then you would say into the fan, I am RB the robot, I am a muscle man, I can move to the beat like no one can, la 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 la. Just me? And he's gone again.
What's the point?
This is going swimmingly, cuties. Donnie, you're gone again. See, this is what happened yesterday when we were recording, but luckily it was just, not live on YouTube. And he's gone. There he goes. So I guess we're going to hope that he can come back and join us. But in the meantime, let me tell you about my week. I think that maybe this was a sign from the universe that accent work, maybe we grow and evolve in the year 2025. Maybe Donnie should stop going to escape rooms. Yeah, Victor in the chat saying Donnie broke. Ultimately, I think that the escape room is the friends we met along the way. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my week. Donnie already knows about this. I've already cried to him over voice notes. So in a way, he's saving himself from having to hear this again. But I went to the dentist this week, and you would have thought that I was climbing Mount Everest. I have such medical anxiety. I've not had the best experience with doctors over the years, but especially dentists. My dentist growing up was a terror. Here's Donnie. Let's see how he goes. Let's see if he's here.
Let's try again.
Oh, you are crisp and clear.
Okay, good.
Okay, I'm telling the cuties about my dentist experience.
Okay, go for it.
So I was telling them that I have not had the best experience with medical doctors, but my dentist. So, one thing about me is I can't get numb, or at least I thought I couldn't get numb. Can't get numb with anesthetics. It always takes like double what they think it's going to take, which is why I think I'm good at, doing some extracurricular activities too. Like, I'm a fucking horse. And so, oh, what did your coworker say about cursing on YouTube Live? We can't.
F, if we more than once, and I already did, I use the F. So we get, like they, they let them put us out in them, but if we say the SA word, they take the video down.
Okay. Well, I don't. Maybe they'll have to create some new laws around talking about which cartoon animals we want to boink once they see our content. So, Godspeed. We'll see. But anyway, I can't get numb. And so, my dentist growing up solution was just to pull my teeth anyway. So, I was
Ah,
terrified. I hadn't gone to the dentist in like since my daughters were born. And it just became something that like the longer I went without it, the more anxious I was to return until finally, like on a whim, my anxiety about the fact I hadn't gone finally outweighed the anxiety about going. So I booked my appointment, and I want to give a shout out to Patuxent River Dental Care, specifically Courtney. She was an angel sent from above because I had to go 2 days in a row. The first day was just the exam, and then the second day was the follow up for the deep clean. The first day I was getting my x-ray and like immediately burst into tears. Like it really is a crazy experience with your body when you're in fight or flight that like my body does not know the difference between like fighting a bear and being in a dentist's office. Like I was like shaking, convulsing. The next day I came in for my deep clean, and Courtney, I told her my experience about the dentist just yanking out the canines willy-nilly, felt every bone crack. She literally gasped, and then she did the work. I was numb for hours afterwards, which like almost makes me madder because now that I know I can get numb, I'm like, oh, so my old dentist just didn't try,
mm,
you know? But
that's
anyway,
nuts.
look how sparkly and clean, no cavities. I
I know, and
haven't.
he sent me the before and after. And Dr. Bald and I are on the same page. I don't know if you were going to share what he said, but I am. He said he never could tell that you needed it, but now that he's on the other side of it, he sees that it was, and they did a good job. And I fully sign off on that.
Yeah, the tism is strong sometimes with Dr. Bald. And the thing about him is he is earnest and he's honest. And he's always going to give what he perceives to be a compliment. But I was both proud of myself, happy, and extremely mad at him when I walked in and he said, wow, your teeth look so great. Wow, you really needed that. I had no idea until I see it now. I'm like, well, okay,
Yeah, it's
thanks.
like when you power wash a yellow house and then see that it's supposed to be white. You
It's
know?
like when I bought my house and we thought that the toilet in the primary bathroom was yellow, but it turned
Mrs.
out
Pearl.
just hadn't been cleaned in
Oh,
many years.
disgusting.
Yeah, shout out to my cousin who I bought the house from. Sorry. Sorry about that. But so that was like the main part of my week was sending you and our friend Amanda voice notes, giving myself pep talks, taking to my Instagram close friends story and Patreon with a banana filter, just, crying and hyping myself up. But it did take until September. But my goal of prioritizing my health in 2025, I finally started that process. So the next step is my OBGYN appointment. I'll take you off of that group chat, Donnie, and I certainly won't be
Please.
sending before and after photos, but that's going to be next on my list.
Well, I'm glad you brought up badges because I need to as well. I got my back waxed for the first time, Chelsea, from, and I'm going to shout them out, European Wax Center, located everywhere, I think, because I know people in Maryland that get it done there as well. But European Wax Center, they don't use the like hot wax and strips. They just use purple wax. They use purple wax on a like popsicle stick and they
Uh huh.
spread it out on your back. And then when it hardens, they pull the purple wax off. Imani from Jamaica, moved to New York 10 years ago. She was so good. I asked her during it. Well, as soon as she pulled the first one, I asked her. I was like, oh, "People get this done to their vag?" And she laughed. She was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh my god."
I've done it
Empathy.
exactly once, and I shan't do it again. But
Oh
like,
my
bang
god.
for your buck, size-wise, the vagina to back ratio, you had way more landscape to cover.
That's true. That's true. But she did a wonderful job, and I will be going back again. I will be going back again in a month, actually. I already made my appointment for a
Okay.
1 month follow up with Imani yet again. We had a wonderful time. At first, I was like, why do you keep talking to me? Because it was in the same mind, like being face down on that little like doctor bed. It was the
Yeah.
same as like getting a massage. And when you get a massage, they don't talk to you.
But
But
you
I think
quickly realized that it was not a massage experience. There was not going to be anything relaxing about it.
no, and I knew that, but it still feels like a spa treatment.
Yeah.
But I think she wants you to like not think about what she's doing.
Right.
So she wanted to like talk to me throughout it. So the first 5 minutes, I was like, "Bitch, why are you talking?" We're allowed to say that word, I think. But
Okay.
then throughout, then I was like, "Let me just warm up," and then we had a wonderful time. And then so she did my back and my shoulders like up here. So when she had to do the front and top, she made me sit up. And then the whole time she was like, "You're not flinching. You're not crying. Like, I've seen all of that. You're doing great." And I was like, "Well, you don't see my face, Imani. Like, I am doing all of those things."
Yeah.
Well, I'm not crying, but like, I am doing that every time. So then when I sat up, I was like, "Oh God, now you have to see my face." And she's like, she laughed. She said, "We're going to do great." And then when I set up there, it looked like someone bare-assed sat on the thing and it was just my titty sweat. But she's like, "Oh no, there's usually so much more sweat than that." So she
That
was
was
just
so
hyping me
kind
up the
of
whole
her
time.
to lie to you. That's what I need out of the
No,
experience, too.
it was only titty sweat though, Chelsea. It wasn't down my whole front. So she probably wasn't lying.
Yeah. Well, and that's somebody who's really good at their job. Much like Courtney,
She's been doing it 2 years.
my
Yeah.
angel from Sent Above, after we were done, she said, "I'm so proud of you. From crying in an x-ray to doing that, like, that's personal growth." Of course, then I burst into tears again. She's like, "You're all done, beautiful." So I walk out feeling like I am Princess Diana.
Ah,
I am on cloud nine. I'm like, my teeth are gorgeous. I'm stunning. Like, anybody, I'm gonna walk outside and it's gonna be like a moment from America's Next Top Model where somebody's just gonna take me off the street and say, like, "We've got to take you to a go-see. You've got model potential." I get in the car and I look at what I look like. My face is numb, and you might recall I've never been numb before, so I didn't know about the drooling and the drooping. I looked like a certain president at that 9/11 show that they did yesterday, with just drooping one side. But not only that, I had been so tense and like unaware of my body during the experience that I didn't realize that the goggles were like pressing into me. I looked like Spock. I had like a divot. I was worried that it had been like a permanent bruise because for hours I was still numb, and then I had like a deep, dark purple divot that went all the way across my forehead. And that woman looked me in the eye and said, "There you go, beautiful." She knew what I needed to hear.
what was I watching recently where oh, Wicked. I saw Wicked on Broadway this week, and there's a recurring thing throughout. You'll see it in the second movie where like first someone calls Elphaba beautiful and then she says it to him later, and then they're like, "You don't need to lie," and they're like, "No, beauty is just about what you see." And I think that's what Courtney saw.
She saw my inner strength.
Yeah. Now, if you would have logged in for a live, I would have had things to say about it.
Certainly. I logged on earlier when we recorded about Big Brother and Rachel Riley, and you immediately called me Ugly Betty because of my favorite sweater. So God knows what you
It
would have
looks like
said.
a poncho. Also, the back waxing, that I guess was really all I wanted to talk about. I tried to get Ariana Grande tickets, and that was a mess. So between that and Rachel Riley, my mental health was at an all-time low this week.
Yeah, it was a tough week for the group chat. We had Amanda, our 3-person group chat. Amanda had to do a lot of the heavy lifting of really getting up the morale.
Yeah. Luckily, though, I did learn how to eat crabs with my hands. I don't have to use crackers anymore.
I taught you how to eat crabs when you were in town. Remember we
No,
had
you didn't.
crabs?
Yeah,
Donnie,
I
I
remember. And I. What?
go
What?
ahead. Go ahead. Tell the story
See, you.
wrong.
No, you. What did you do?
I have taught many people how to eat crabs. I am a Maryland girl. We all sat down at the table. You had never had crabs before. My daughters were around, and we gave you step by step instructions. You should always be eating it with your hands. I kept telling you you need to eat it with your hands. You shouldn't be using that mallet
Yeah.
crunchy thing. You
Uh
shouldn't be
huh.
using the wacky thing. You should only be using your hands, and you refused to listen. And every time I looked over, you were just whacking it like you were Fred Flintstone over there. Like you
What
crack it
kind of
open.
lesson did you get?
I
Uh
did it
huh.
step
Say.
by step.
Show me now.
Okay, how to eat a crab?
Yeah.
Okay, so you start out, you take each leg out because then you get a nice little lollipop of
Yep.
the crab meat. Get that. Then I like to save all the legs last because then you crack open, first you peel open the sternum, crack open the ribs, you clear it all out, and then if you crack it again, so now that the body is in fourths, this is so gross, like, and it's so normalized to me that I do this because I don't typically feel good about eating meat, but growing up eating crabs, I'm with Ashley Darby. I call the yellow stuff mustard. It is what it is. Then once you do the body, you clean all of that out, and then with the legs, you do each joint and you twist and pull so it comes
Show.
out each time.
Oh,
And then when you do the crab,
that's what was not working for me.
okay, what did you do?
Kendrick with the legs. We didn't have the body. He just had the legs. He crack it this way 1st, like not at the joint. The like you break the joint first, so then you have the individual
Yeah.
parts. So you crack it up and down, and then when it cracks, then you crack it the other way. So crack it up and down, turn it, and then yank, and then it pulls it out in one long piece. That's not what you did. That's
You
not what you told me. You might have
okay.
did it, but you might have been doing this. Just tie your shoe. You just tie your shoe. But you have to, for a beginner, you have to one by one, bunny ear. For you to
Okay.
just say crack and have a lollipop, that didn't work.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you did learn that because when you told me that not only had you been doing it wrong, but you had been like eating shell with the meat, that horrifies me.
Yeah, it's not fun for me to eat crab. I like the taste of crab, but it's not fun for me to eat crab. I went to that um housewives experience. It wasn't a housewives experience. It was just
just a
someone's
party that looked
backyard
like the
party. Yeah.
Housewives.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I went to that seafood boil a few weeks ago, and like I only had 2 crab legs because that was the only food I didn't know how to eat. And like using the crackers and getting a bit of shell every bite and only meat the size of like what you can find in an oyster, it is not fun.
Yeah. That is part
It's
of
not
the
worth the work.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm happy. So shout out to Kendrick who taught you about bunny ears and loop, swoop, and pull.
And that's
Now,
it for my week.
I do want to say one thing. This isn't about the week that I had, but just a plug for our Monday episode. We did cover Now and Then. Now and Then stands. Take a deep breath. We do have some notes for the movie, but Donnie and I loved it. But we talked so much about riding bikes. We told bike riding stories. We talked about adventures on the bike. I realized I didn't tell you about the last time I ever rode bikes with Dr. Bald on a highway or on a road. I was in grad school. We could ride bikes from like my house where I lived, like, you know how they convert like garages into like one room apartments sometimes?
Okay, I'm
Like an
familiar.
in-law suite. So I lived in the in-law suite on one side, but my house, it was a one room and it was attached to a house where like a bunch of frat boys lived. And so they had I had my own entrance and everything, and our houses were separate. The houses didn't connect. Like I had my own door, but that's where I lived. So Dr. Bald and I were riding bikes back from the town, and we're riding down the road. I'm stressed out anyway because let's not forget, just 5 years earlier, I had been hit by a car. So, just feeling on edge. I'm riding. A bug comes, flies in my mouth, but like flies so hard in my mouth that it like I deep throated it. Like it went right to my throat and it
What?
a fly like flew,
Yeah, I
like
heard.
and it like flew in like it had a mission. It was like Miss Frizzle on the Magic School Bus, just like poof, back to the esophagus, and it triggered my gag reflex, and I just projectile
Ah!
vomited. And so I got off my bike, and this was like I finally had made it home, and all of the frat boys used to take their lawn chairs and sit on the house, like sit on the roof of their house, and they all just watched me projectile vomit. And that's the
Huh.
last time I rode my bike.
That'll do it. You might have noticed my jaw was dropped even before the fly reveal that whole time. My first apartment in Queens, I think, was a garage turned into an apartment. And I never realized until you just said that. But I had to go back through an alley to get in.
Uh-huh.
Everybody else in the building went through the front door. I had to go back through an alley, and it was on the basement level. And everybody
And
else,
it had
all
a
the other
garage
buildings,
door. The strangest thing.
no,
It
they
was,
got rid of it.
yeah.
I think they got rid of it to build a regular door, but everybody else had it, every other building on the alley had a garage, and we didn't.
I think you've put together all the clues. JB Fletcher who?
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, shall
So
we move
I
on
have a
to...
recommendation.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
So I have a recommendation this week, and it's not a TV show, it's not a book, it's not a movie, it's a place.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was my friend's birthday, so we went to Soho on Monday, and we did a little shopping, and we went to get this coffee with this ice. It was what do you call a beer? And I like little
What?
a draft beer. Yeah,
Oh.
it was draft ice coffee. Draft beer. Yeah, it was draft ice coffee, and then instead of like flavor, they just put caramelized butter in there, melted. It was very good. So we had that, and then we went to a little park. But I also, Chelsea, it was so good. I've never had anything like it. But then we also got cupcakes from Little Cupcake Bake Shop. And I bought her 2 cupcakes as like a little gift. But then I was like, I'm at a cupcake bake shop. I need to get me cupcakes as well. So I got me 1 pumpkin spice and then 1 strawberry eclair like popsicle with all the little like white chocolate cookies and like strawberry, you know that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not a sweets person.
Okay, it
So
was like
whenever
that.
you ask me these things, I do yes and you. Like I am familiar with what things might look like, but I don't, you know. You know that I
But do you
live
know
off
a strawberry eclair popsicle
no, but I'm assuming
or ice cream bar?
like what you would get like
Wait, I
at
have to.
school lunch for like 50 cents.
No, like what you would get in the ice cream truck for $3.
Like it's shaped like this, like a coffin, and then it has little like
Yeah,
nuts
and it's
on it.
pink and white. Yeah, pink.
Yeah. We're talking about the
Okay,
same
yeah.
thing. I guess my school lunch prices were just phenomenal back in the day.
Wow, I live too close to the big city, I guess. So I got that, but as a cupcake. Chelsea, it was the best cupcake I've ever eaten in my entire life. They also serve it as a cake. So immediately, where did I go? Big Brother 40. So I messaged my 5 bakers. I have 5 bakers, you may recall. I think the last time I talked to you, it was 4. But now I have 5 bakers
Yeah.
for Big Brother 40. I messaged them all and said, like, you have to make this strawberry cake. And then when the first person said yes, then I messaged the others and I was like, it's been taken. You don't have to make it anymore. Kix Hamlet will be making the strawberry eclair birthday cake for me.
Kix, this message is for you. I'm talking right to camera. It is September. Why are we enabling this man? Why are you letting him boss you around? Now, that being said, Kix Hamlet is a phenomenal cook and baker. So, of course, anything she makes will be wonderful. But Cuties, I feel like it is my patriotic duty to continue to remind you that Donnie, when he says BB40, he's talking about his 40th birthday party that is taking place in March of 2026.
189 days will fly by, Chelsea. That's why I was late to the recording today. I had to ask Alexa how many days until March 20th. And not so I would know it for the podcast, just so I would know it.
Just so you could keep yourself excited.
Yeah, every morning I check how many days until my birthday and I check how many days sober I am.
Okay. I mean, I can't. Now you are making me look like an asshole because, of course, I'm
No, you
so
can
pleased.
be upset about one and not the other.
Yeah. And imagine I'm like, so it's fine. You can keep counting down to your birthday.
But
Now,
it's cool because I'm at 165 and 189. So I think in like a week, they'll be the same day.
that will be cool.
Yeah.
That's like a golden birthday. Like, if your like birthday is you're turning 4 on the 4th or whatever. Mine
And I
was
haven't done
wasted.
any kind of math yet, but if it's in 8 days, Chelsea, if it's, oh my God, it won't
Oh
be. It won't
God.
be. But if it's in 8 days, that's my half birthday. If the number of days I'm sober and the number of days until Big Brother 40 lines up on the same day of my half birthday, I think I don't know what to do.
Well, that
It gave
would
me
be a
full
sign.
body chills, and now I get colder faster because I don't have back hair.
That's like seeing 11:11 on the clock. You've got to make a wish.
Yeah.
Yeah, my golden
all right.
birthday was wasted because I was 12, turned 12 on the 12th. Like, I wish it could have been, a little later in life where I could have really enjoyed it and made it a thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, my recommendation, and this is not a hot take, my favorite thing to do is to recommend something that's been out for months and months that everybody has already agreed is great. Like, I think that what I'm about to say has been like number one on Netflix forever, like since it's come out. But I finally sat down and watched this K-pop Demon Hunters that my girls have been talking about. They're playing
so
it at
good.
recess. They're singing the songs. I already knew all of the songs because we've been playing it in my home. But I have to say, so any fellow parents out there, I always have to shout out movies when they're actually good. And this movie is like worth sitting down and watching. So if you have not watched K-pop Demon Hunters, turn it on.
That wasn't too scary for them?
No, they're so inconsistent with the things that freak
So
them out.
inconsistent.
They loved it. Not scared at all.
Weird.
So weird. So,
Anyway.
one more reminder, we are live on YouTube right now. If you're listening to it as a replay, hello, hi. Come join us in the chat next Friday at 11 a.m. Donnie is buying a little cord for his router, so all of our technology issues will presumably be worked out for now. We've got some growing pains, but yeah, we're here every Friday. And if you want to watch video footage of our Monday movie episodes, you can always go over to patreon.com/I'm the cute one because that is over there.
Great. So, this week, Taylor Frankie Paul was announced as the next Bachelorette. Overcompensating got a second season, and Big Little Lies officially got a third. Season 5 of Only Murders in the Building premiere. Killian Murphy, who Chelsea decided to write in the comments of how to pronounce it.
I was trying
so
to be
now I'm going out of my
helpful.
way to say it the real way. Yeah, but it's a recurring bit. Cillian. Silly old Cillian.
I was trying to be helpful because you've taken over this part for me. So I put in the comments how to pronounce it. Kill-E-N.
And I appreciate it. But I feel like because you had to teach me in another episode, now it feels pointed. If this was the first time I ever said the name, like I know if you ever make a little thing in the outline about Will Ferrell, that you're going to write it.
No, you just said his name perfectly. So you've been taught.
Well, I haven't. It's one or the other every time. Because now I'm in my head about how to say it.
So now you're overcompensating and like getting it. You've gone full circle where you learned it, but then you think you're wrong. So you say Pharrell.
It goes
again.
one or the other. Ferrell
Yeah.
or Pharrell. Yeah. So Killian Murphy shot down rumors about a Voldemort casting. Howard Stern and Andy Cohen pulled a prank on SiriusXM employees for seemingly no reason. And Nina Dobrev and Shaun White ended their engagement.
What a week.
What a week. Especially after the headline you have here.
Oh, I'm so excited for my headline. So, cuties, once again, this podcast, we like to bring you joy. We think that joy is an act of resistance, and this headline made me feel joyful inside, and I want to share it with all of you. The headline reads, Humpty Dumpty caper at New Jersey mini golf course sparks police investigation.
Huh.
So, and you know what? I do have to admire. Recently, we've been pulling articles where you can just tell that the journalist is having fun with it. Because I want to read you the first paragraph of this article, and then we'll just talk about it in general. Cape Town, May, New Jersey. Humpty Dumpty took a big fall, and now police are hoping to crack the case. A playful, colorful statue of the nursery rhyme icon was forcibly removed from a structure at a mini golf course in Cape May, New Jersey on Sunday and dumped down the street.
I'm glad you corrected it, because originally you said Cape Town, May. And I was like, Chelsea, that is not right. It's just Cape May. On the way to Cape May. There's a full song about it.
My apologies.
Cape Town, South Africa.
Oh. Well, that would have been a twist, too. Imagine it went from New Jersey to South Africa.
They were just spreading pieces of Humpty Dumpty, like that National Treasure movie with, what's his face? You know.
Yeah.
This movie podcast that doesn't know his name.
Yeah.
Let's grow with it.
No, it would be it would be the opposite of a flat Stanley, a Humpty Dumpty, because of the shape of the egg.
Yeah.
So local police say they're looking for two men who were seen on videotape stopping at the putt golf course around 4 a.m. And the video shows one of them coming in, climbing over the fence, and then grabbing and rocking the statue back and forth to pull it off of its foundation and walking off. And they said that the statue, showing a smiling Humpty Dumpty with a big white head, red cheeks, a yellow bow tie, a blue jacket, and gray pants, was found several properties away. In a nursery rhyme, Humpty Dumpty falls off a wall, and all the king's horses and all the king's men can't put him back together again. I love how the journalist provided the context for anyone who might not be familiar with the lore of Humpty Dumpty.
This is why it's funny. I know exactly the Humpty they speak of in very own Cape May.
You do?
Yeah. I've been to this golf course, yeah.
You know
My
what?
family is big miniature golf heads.
I know we're not going to be shouting out the comments every time, but Victor is my MVP so far this episode. Been crushing it. They said, oh, the hump manatee.
Oh.
Are you a big putt-putt head? You like to go putt-putt golfing?
My family does. Here's the thing about putt-putt golf. What else did I do recently? Boating, maybe? There was something I did recently that I've only had experience doing it with my family. And I was like, oh, now that I'm doing it with like friends where I don't have like childhood trauma attached to like the people I'm doing it with and they don't like trigger me with just an eye glance. It is a fun thing. I'm having, a baseball game. That was it.
Oh.
Yeah, I did love the Yankees Hamilton night. And I think like I would love to go to a baseball game with you. And that's the same thing with miniature golf. Like without my parents there and without it being about competitiveness in the eyes of my parents and family and all that, I do love miniature golf.
Putt-putt golf is just such a weird thing that people do get really competitive about. And it's like, we're whacking a tiny ball through a clown mouth right now. Like, why are we taking it so seriously?
Yeah. And like when people like, do you ever play with people who like lie about how many they got? Like, that was 3. Yeah. No, I saw it was 7. And like not little kids, like people my age.
Right. It's like, well, that was a lie. That's a lie, Ellen. Yeah, I haven't played putt-putt golf in many years because I was banned from the putt-putt golf course by my house.
There's one, the one I want to go to?
Probably. I mean, I look different than I did when I was like 14 years old.
There's one like in your general area, not close to you, but like within an hour because I decided that is how far
we passed one when we were driving to Merriweather for that concert.
Maybe that's it. There was one because I look like within an hour. That's how much I'm willing to let you drive me places. Like, but more than an hour is not worth it. But if I find something within an hour from your house, that's worth it. So I found one that's all blacklight and like monster theme that I really want you to take me to.
Okay, that's not the one I'm talking about.
Okay,
so
yeah.
I'm not banned from there. Yeah. When I was, I think, like a freshman in high school, I started getting bored. And this was, before I was medicated for my ADHD. So when I got bored, that's really when I got into most of my mischief. And so I just started hitting golf balls as hard as I could and yelling, 4! And it was when it bounced off of one of the caves and off of one of the waterfalls and hit a person in the head that I was escorted off of the premises.
My God.
Uh-huh.
There used to be a miniature golf course at Nifty Fifties, but then when it burnt down, they did.
What? Every word of that sentence you presented like, oh, nifty 50s, but then there was that fire.
So there's a restaurant, I guess it's regional, Nifty Fifties, and it is like a milk, a Nifty Fifties restaurant. So they have like hot dogs, hamburgers, wonderful cheese fries, like 52 flavors of milkshakes, 52 flavors of soda. It's like you transported time. But then they had a miniature golf course in the back that was also 50s theme. The main thing was like a big jukebox. That was really cool. Okay. But then the restaurant itself burnt down, so then they didn't just keep the miniature golf course open because the whole place to ring in that you needed the golf clubs and stuff was in the restaurant. So there was no way to keep it open.
Sure.
So now for a long time in Bensalem, Pennsylvania, there was just a 50s theme miniature golf course abandoned.
Spooky.
I know.
That could be the start of a Scooby-Doo episode.
It could.
I think that going back to childhood trauma and things that weren't fun with your family but could be fun as an adult, I would be willing to go bowling with you. You tried really hard to get me and the girls to go bowling one of the visits that you came up, but bowling is one of those things for me because there was a fateful event where my dad like scolded me publicly in front of all my cousins for not trying. And I was like, I am trying. I'm just bad. And then, my whole family like giggled when I would ask to get bumpers. I feel like part of the fun is bumpers so that you're not just doing gutter balls every time.
Yeah, I use bumpers and like to the chagrin. I'm surprised I used that word right.
So smart.
To
Look at
the
us.
chagrin of my friends. Like I go for friends' birthdays and now bumpers are cool because in the olden days when I was first born, you had to do bumpers
when
for the
I
whole...
was just a young boy at the bowling alley, I never used my bumpers. It was seen as a sign of disrespect to the ladies.
No, but like in the olden days, if you wanted to use bumpers, everyone on your lane had to use bumpers the whole time. And they just like pulled them up like a fence and they stayed there. But now with computers, they can do it where just when there's this, so you can just use it for just your turn.
Now, see, I haven't gone bowling since the robots took over. I did not know that was an option.
Yeah. Now, if you go to like an old-fashioned, if you go to the bowling alley at Nifty Fifties, it's probably still
well, in the 50s, they didn't have bumpers that could be controlled by robots.
True, right. So now, yeah, just for your turn. So I always do it, and everyone's like, Donnie, come on. And I'm like, if I win and you don't want to count it as a win, get rid of it. Like, no, the winner doesn't get a prize. So just don't count my score. I don't care. But I will not have fun if I'm not using bumpers. So I'm using bumpers.
Yeah, just put an asterisk by your name on the winners column.
Yeah. Or I don't care. Don't put me on the winners column. I don't care. But I'm using bumpers. Anyway, happy birthday. So now they don't have bumpers at the castle for Big Brother 40, unfortunately. So I might just put pool noodles up when I play.
No, at the rate you're going, you're going to make your friends lay down on either side of the lane and be No.
Anyone that's voted out already, yeah.
That's going to be the battle back. Who can lay there the longest while you bowl
As I
and hit them in the head.
Baseballs at and you shoot miniature golf balls at them.
4.
Is that it about Humpty Dumpty?
Yeah, I just wanted to share with the people that Humpty Dumpty took another great fall. You know, they do say history will repeat itself. So poor guy, I hope the king's horses and king's men can put him together again and get him back to that putt-putt golf course.
Did you ever read The Stinky Cheese Man?
No, what is that?
It's like fairy tales or nursery rhymes. It's like nursery rhymes, but they're all written like weird. You know how 90s books were weird for kids?
Yeah, where it was like
so this one
the same. It was like the Three Little Pigs, but from like the big bad wolf's point of view.
Yes, yeah. So there was one. It was all nursery rhymes, but it was like weird shit. And the Stinky Cheese Man was like the gingerbread man. I'll run as fast as I can. You can't catch me. I'm the Stinky Cheese Man. But then when people would chase him and get close, he was made of like fermenting blue cheese. So then people would throw up.
Well, we have some people in the comments that are saying they too remember the Stinky Cheese bin. So I guess you weren't alone in that. But fairy
I
tales in
might buy it for your
general,
daughters. They would love it.
they would love it. That is right up their
They
alley.
would love it.
Coco's
Yeah.
favorite book is The Dark, Dark Room. The short stories, like the scary stories, the one with the girl with the green ribbon
Yeah.
where her head
Uh-huh.
plops off at the end.
Uh-huh.
That's her favorite book.
Huh.
But
I'd
fairy
believe
tales
it.
in general are really morbid. Like all
Oh,
of
for
the
sure.
original stories for things are horrifying.
Cutting off toes and stuff.
Yeah. And
Just to
Ring
please a
Around the
man,
Rosie,
no
you
less.
know where that originated?
Polio.
I think it was the plague, but it was
Oh,
a
okay.
disease where they would get a little rosy, they would get a ring around the pox mark, and then they would all carry posies because they thought it would ward off the infection. And then haunting, ashes, ashes, we all fall down. And that's we're just singing that in nursery school.
My God. So something I was never singing in nursery school was mosquito magnets have a taste for the hedonists.
What?
Okay? So we recently talked about mosquito bites
Yeah.
and how you are a mosquito magnet.
Yeah.
That's because you're a sinner. So they did a study.
Welcome to the Julie Chen Moonves section of I Am the Cute One, where we try to convert everyone to believe in God.
They did a study where people who drink beer are 1.35 times more likely to be bitten by mosquitoes than people who don't drink beer. Which I was always a mosquito magnet, and this summer I really wasn't. So I do think that I'm not having alcohol in my system every second is why. But then in the same study, they also found
Are they
that
saying beer specifically or alcohol?
this was tested by beer, but
Okay, because I don't
maybe
drink
alcohol.
beer.
Oh, weird.
So I should never start drinking beer.
No,
That's going to
never
increase
start.
my odds even more.
Also, people that don't wear sunscreen, had sex the night before, drink beer, and who don't shower.
Okay, well, I do wear sunscreen. I do shower. I may have had sex the night before, but
Huh.
I guess
That's just you naturally.
it's just me. Mosquitoes love me. They can't get enough.
Oh, I read more about it. Just alcohol. It's not beer necessarily.
Okay. Well, that would track then in the summer months for me.
And people that have body odor, mosquitoes can smell you 350 feet away. You
Maybe
are
I'm
the
part-
stinky cheese man.
I am the stinky cheese man, but maybe I'm part mosquito because I got to tell you, there is an epidemic happening in our society, Donnie. And that is natural deodorant.
Oh, disgusting.
May I please implore you, cuties, this is my PSA, cue arms of an angel as I say this. For just $6, you can buy deodorant from CVS that actually works. Please, please. All the studies about the links to breast cancer actually have been disproven. That is not the case. So I can understand if you were trying to be healthy. Please. There are other things you can do naturally, but there are things, sunscreen, bug spray, deodorant, we need the chemicals.
Yeah. Toothpaste.
Toothpaste, we need the chemicals.
Malin Ackerman, now famously famous for wearing that bad wig in Hunting Wives. She was on a show about 10 years ago called Trophy Wife, where she married this man who was married 2 times before. So it's like her and the other 2 ex-wives all like co-parenting the kids from each family, whatever. But the one is like this hippie lady, and Malin Ackerman says, yeah, she makes her own toothpaste, and then the hippie lady's like, do you know how much that saves me a month? And Malin Ackerman's like, $10? I don't, like, what? Why do you make your own toothpaste? Sick.
Yeah, and it might be saving you $10, but it's also losing you 10 friends every time you're talking to them close. I had to have an intervention.
Yeah, and maybe 10 teeth in the long run.
Yeah, I had to have an intervention with one of my hippy dippy friends. I visited her when she was living in Austin, Texas, and it was the heat of summer, and we stopped the car and she went to put it in park and lifted up her arm, and the stench that hit me, I hadn't experienced anything like that since my time camping at Bonnaroo. And I turned to her and I said, we're going to stop at CVS on the way home. And, I think it's important. That's the importance of having people in your life that will give it to you straight when you've strayed too far from God's light and started rubbing aloe under your pits. Megan,
One more thing.
that is
Oh, go ahead.
so shout out to Megan in the comments saying, coming in with an unpopular opinion. I love my natural deodorant. I've tried a million of them. I love that for you. I implore you to ask the
Interview the
hard,
people around you.
yeah, you got to ask the hard questions and ask the people around you, do you love my natural deodorant? I'm not denying. I think that natural deodorant wearers do love their natural deodorant. But, like during the pandemic when we were wearing masks for the safety of others, not necessarily ourselves, that's how I feel about deodorant with chemicals. It's not for you. It's for everybody else's nasal passage.
And sometimes you need to do this. Like, can you come sniff this? Oh, thank you. Also, one more thing about this.
Or just birth two daughters. I'm so sorry. Like this, none of this was on our outline. We're on YouTube Live. This is a pop culture roundup, and I truly can't get off the train of natural deodorant. But another way is, may I encourage everyone to have two daughters. And then they'll just come up to you and say, "Ooh, mommy, you stinky." And they'll let you know right away when you smell. And that's time to take a shower and don't become the stinky cheese man.
Okay. Megan is not the stinky cheese man. She just said she has asked.
Okay, then you know what? Like they said in He's Just Not That Into You, there is an exception to every rule. And so, Megan, I'm knighting you the only person who can get away with natural deodorant.
Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about this mosquito study, they said the sample size that they tested it on was at Lowlands Music Festival. So they said as a whole, the people tend to be like younger and healthier than old heads. So maybe the mosquitoes are just drawn to them. And like they all happen to be sinners. And they thought it was more mosquitoes, but really it's just everyone's a sinner at a music festival.
Yeah, so it's just the layers of sin that happened. This is why it's important that we go live on YouTube, because we're getting Megan lore, and it turns out that Megan used to sell cheese. So she was, in fact, the stinky cheese man. Incredible.
Huh. We love that. Is it time for Cutie of the Week?
I believe so. How about I go
Let's go.
first so that I can trigger you and then you can untrigger yourself with your cutie?
God. Okay.
Because my cutie of the week is Rachel Riley of Big Brother. For those that are unfamiliar, there was an unprecedented twist this week on Big Brother where there was a competition and Rachel was evicted from the house without an HOH, without a vote. Feeds were down for it. Donnie's been going through it. He talked to his therapist about it. We did just record an episode on Patreon about it because we did feel like our thoughts needed to be behind the safety of a paywall. So if you want to hear our thoughts on Big Brother, go to patreon.com/IamTheCuteOne. It'll be up right after we're done recording this show. But shout out to you, Rachel. I said this on our bonus episode, but I do think that because of the outpouring of support for her, I feel like she is setting herself up for even more success because everybody who is right about things is up in arms about what happened. We were such, to quote Kyle Richards, we were so happy that day. It was hard to know what could have happened next because just last week on TGIF, we were out here predicting like, oh, maybe it's a split house. This could be so fun. This could be so silly, but nope.
No. This is not my cutie of the week, but this is the Stinky Cheese Man.
He kind of looks like somebody.
That you can say, or you have to text me privately?
I mean, like a leader of a country.
I see it. So my cutie of the week is Hillary Ann Duff. That's not her middle name. Hillary Duff. She signed with Atlantic Records and in a series about her return to music. So not only do we get new music from Hillary Duff, we also get a documentary series about it.
Wow.
I can't wait. Music has
Marvelous.
returned. We are so back.
You know, you have fished your wish. For years, you've been saying music is bad. We should just listen to the music that was out 20 years ago. And I guess music executives agree.
Well, we can only hope. We can only hope it's the same style and that she's not trying to. When the new music comes out, we'll see if she's trying to cater to new audiences. If she's like, no, that's not what we want.
What do we want? You've given that. Show us. Can you do your best Hillary Duff impression? Oh, he's gone. And just like that,
That.
yeah, you
Uh,
cut out completely. I think that the internet gods are once again protecting us from whatever you've been doing. You did that voice work at the top of the episode and got the boot, and now your Hillary Duff impressions. The internet lords were like, no, that's enough. That's not.
I was killing it. Lucky for you, I bought a karaoke machine for Big Brother 40, so you will hear it.
Oh, God. Sing to me, Paulo. And that's it, I think. I think we've done it, Donnie.
I barely, but we've tried.
Let me go ahead and do the closing for us just because, you know, we've made it this far. Why chance it? So, if you liked this episode, go ahead and send it to a friend. If you're here with us live on YouTube, make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss the next one. If you're listening to this on the main feed and you want to join next week, the chat was poppin'. We called out a couple of chats, but you cuties, you delight me. You're chaotic, you're funny, you're kind, you're sweet, and you're in the chat. So thanks for chatting with us. Thanks for talking about the Stinky Cheese Man and the importance of chemicals in the deodorant. And remember to subscribe to patreon.com/I'm the cute one if you want to hear our Big Brother coverage and also our Desperate Housewives coverage. We've got some fun things happening over there and some things in the work for some extra treats for Patreon cuties. So we'll see you over there. Anything I missed?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, we will talk to you later. Love you like a sister.
Bye.
Bye.